Hey, Danimation here. It's been a while, hasn't it? I've been kind of busy making Left Forgotten and making fan films. But I don't hear you complaining about that. But anyway, you get to see my lovely hand-drawn face again. So, what's this video about? It's been so long since I made a video like this, I kind of forgot. Oh yeah, right, movies, got it. So it's official, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is happening. Woohoo! As much as I sound enthusiastic, that's a joke. Obviously, I'm really excited for this movie, and this Halloween, I'm planning on seeing it. In the cinema. I don't have Peacock, dude. Anyway. But this got me thinking, and given with the Sonic movie, the Mortal Kombat movie, as well as the Mario movies, you know, we're finally getting some good video game movies. Does this mean that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is going to be the movie to break the cycle of horror video game movies being absolute horseshit? Like, we've had Slender Man, we've had Resident Evil, we've had Silent Hill, and all of them sucked. None of them really had anything to do with the games, and they clearly weren't treating the games with respect. But now that now that video game movies are finally getting the respect that the games deserve, I think that the Five Nights at Freddy's movie could prove that now horror gaming, specifically indie horror gaming, can finally get some good films. So, this video is going to be my top 5 horror video games that I want to see get turned into movies. Now, got a couple of rules for this top 5. Number 1, it cannot already be confirmed to be getting a movie. So, Poppy Playtime, FNAF, and Dead by Daylight, though I really want to see those, they already have confirmed films, so no, they're not on this list. These are just going to be 5 games that don't have a movie lined up that really, really need to get on that. Alright, let's start off the list with number 5. Number 5 is Dark Deception. Yeah, I know. Now I've got a bit of a confession to make. I don't know a huge amount about Dark Deception, I've only really seen the first 2 chapters. Yeah, I know, blasphemy, right? But of those 2 chapters, I think I've got a basic idea of the game, and I like it. I like the art style, I like that it's like a twisted Pac-Man game, and I really enjoy Monsters and Mortals. I think it's like similar to Dead by Daylight, and I really enjoy that. And I like that it's bringing in like guest characters, like, you know, like Silent Hill, Poppy Playtime. They were going to bring in Bendy, but then, you know, Mike Mood was, you know, absolutely atrocious to work with. You know, stuff like that. And I honestly, the reason I got into Monsters and Mortals, and also the reason I got into Dead by Daylight, was the guest characters. Oh, come on! But I honestly think there's a lot of movie potential here. So, yeah, Dark Deception, I feel like the Murder Monkeys, Agatha, I think they're really interesting antagonists, and you could build a movie around that. You could even build a movie around the whole Monsters and Mortals thing, and yeah, that's about all I've got up to. Don't pull up that Boo This Man thing again. I swear to God, if you pull that up again, you're fired. Wait, I'm editing this myself. This, kids, is the moment Danimation went crazy. Anyway, as I was saying, I didn't mention this in the intro, but there's something I want to do. I want to bring up directors that I want to look at this. So, for the first director for Dark Deception, my pick is going to be... I'm picking Matt and Ross Duffer. Oh, you don't know who they are? Well, you may know them. They're the guys that made Stranger Things. Now, with Stranger Things, I feel like that look, it suits Dark Deception, and, you know, that could bring in some mainstream appeal to have people who aren't necessarily big horror gamers coming to watch this and, you know, future horror video game movies, assuming, like, a company like Blumhouse makes all of these, and they're all a big, like, horror gaming universe, even though I've already done that in the Danimation fanverse. But I've got a huge confession to make. I've never watched Stranger Things. Okay. I deserve that one. But what I have seen from Stranger Things makes me think that Matt and Rostoffer could be a really good fit for Dark Deception, and I'd love to see what they do with it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this would be their first, like, you know, horror movie. So I have no doubt that with Dark Deception, you know, they could do something interesting with it. Maybe do something to get me more interested to check out the other chapters. If you pull up that meme again! I'm doing this to myself. Okay. Number 4 already. I'm picking a classic this time. Amnesia. I have no idea if I actually said that right. Like, amnesia, it's like... I never know what's the proper way to say it. Whatever. Now, I've already made a fan film on this game, so I've given you my interpretation of my adaptation of this game, but for a modern theatrical take on this, yeah, I want to see some people's take on it. Because recently, Amnesia's been coming back, you've got, like, Amnesia the Bunker, and I don't remember what the other one was called. But, if they're going to make a movie, I still want them to adapt The Dark Descent, because that's all of it I saw. Give me a break, I'm just not really interested in, like, the bunker and stuff. I'm, like, more interested in, like, you know, the stuff with the gatherers. So, yeah. But still, I really like this. I love it set in the 1800s, because those kind of movies are, like, Frankenstein, The Witch, and stuff like that. Those are, like, some like, really cool monster movies. And they're set in the 1800s, so it's nice to see how terrifying monsters were hundreds of years ago. And this is going to be, you know, this is Amnesia. This is you're trapped in a castle with a bunch of monsters and a freak who is from another universe who just wants to get back there. Spoilers for, like, an 11-year-old game. At least I think it's about 11 years old. Anyway, yeah. Oh wait, 2010. I'm thinking out loud, and, you know, I'm too lazy to record this again. So who am I going to pick to direct Amnesia? Well, my pick for director for Amnesia is... So I'm picking Jennifer Kent for this, who directed The Babadook. Now, in case you haven't seen it, The Babadook was a story about a woman who was slowly dealing with the demons inside her own head, and then a monster makes her way into the house, and then the movie ends with, was the monster just in her head, or was it real? And I think for Amnesia, that's perfect. Like, she is the perfect director for this movie, because Amnesia is a story about a man trapped in a castle who can't remember the horrible things he's done, and him slowly piecing it together, and him psychologically breaking when he finally does piece it together. Of course, with monsters. So, yeah, I think Jennifer Kent is the perfect fit for a director to make Amnesia. Again, by the way, I don't know if any of these people are actually gamers. I don't know if any of them have ever heard of these games. They're just, in an ideal world, these are the people I would have direct these movies. Anyway, on to number 3. Another classic here, Outlast. Now, with Outlast, I consider this more to be sci-fi horror, you know, the stuff with the Walrider. As long as we're just talking about the first game, like, with the second game, that's just pure, like, at this point, even, like, cultic horror. I know more about the first game than I do about the second game. And, anyway, just, with Outlast, I did have a pick for a director, but then I thought, maybe I should change it. I was gonna have Adam Wingard, who did, You're Next and The Blair Witch. The recent, like, the 2016 Blair Witch, mainly because of the environment, because in the asylum. But, no. I'm gonna have someone else do Outlast, and I have a feeling with the kind of game that Outlast is, this could really work. I'm picking Leigh Whannell for this, who, the co-creator of Saw, as well as the guy who, directed the 2020 remake of The Invisible Man. And I thought, okay, the look of Saw versus the whole sci-fi element that he brought to The Invisible Man, which I have some opinions on, but I'll get into that in another video. Put this together, I thought, boom, you've got Outlast, because, you know, it starts off in a creepy asylum, and then you go down into an underground, like, laboratory, you fight the Walrider, and literally, the Walrider can turn invisible. So, the kind of stuff he did on Invisible Man, get those kills, boom, you've got some Walrider scenes for you. So, I think Leigh Whannell is perfect for a director on Outlast. And that's really what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for the perfect director to do these movies. And, yeah, I think that's a perfect fit for Outlast. As well as the fact that with, you know, Saw, you know, the stuff with Jigsaw. Remember the guy with the big scissors? I can't remember his name. As well as, you know, the chase sequences with Chris Walker. That could all look so terrifying if it just gave it that feel. Anyway, number 2. Boom, Little Nightmares, baby. Sorry, that was so cringy. But yeah, Little Nightmares. I'm just gonna come out and say, I love Little Nightmares. It is... I've been playing Little Nightmares 2 a lot, and absolutely love it. Seriously, this game is a modern masterpiece. And because of this, and, you know, my pick for number 1, which, if anyone's watched my channel before, you already know what number 1 is. I'll just say it, I'm biased. Simply because I love these games and I want to see them on the big screen. So for Little Nightmares, here's my pitch. Now, because I've been playing Little Nightmares 2 a lot, and I absolutely love it, do we adapt Little Nightmares 1 first? For me, I would say no. Now, okay. Yeah, just had to bring the meme back. Okay, listen. I can explain this one. Okay, so anyone who played Little Nightmares 2 who isn't a complete moron could probably piece together, Little Nightmares 2 is actually a prequel. Best prequel ever made. God's sake, I have opinions, damn it! Now, I do know that Little Nightmares probably has a show in development, and, like, Henry Selick is probably going to be, like, working on, like, the pilot or something. So, that's cool. Henry Selick would have been, like, probably one of my picks. But, like I said, this does fall into the rules because that's a show, not a movie. So, here's my pitch for a Little Nightmares movie. Adapting the second game first, because it's a prequel, and then do Little Nightmares 1 as a sequel, okay? We're not going to completely touch Little Nightmares as 1, like, we're still going to do it, just want to do the story of Little Nightmares 2 first, and, like, do Little Nightmares 1 as a sequel. And also, I kind of want the whole movie to be animated. Look at the art style for Little Nightmares. This doesn't look like it would work in live action. But, animated, hell yeah. I want to see that. And for this man, his art style, his previous films, his whole idea, and I don't know if I read it anywhere, but I think maybe he's a gamer. I don't know. You'll have to correct me on that. Can you see where I'm going with this? I want to see Tim Burton do it. Yeah, I know, you probably saw that coming. And you're probably thinking, no way, Tim Burton wouldn't do it. He's one of the biggest directors in the world. Like, he'd, want so much money to do it. Well, you know what? Shut up. I mean, you're right, but shut up. I think if you played the game, Tim Burton would probably love Little Nightmares. Because, you know, play the game, it really does feel like you're playing through a Tim Burton movie. And, you know, I never thought he'd ever do Addams Family, and yet he did Wednesdays. I also haven't seen Wednesday. Yeah, I deserve that too. But come on, a Tim Burton Little Nightmares movie. Don't tell me that you wouldn't enjoy that. That'd be awesome. Like, come on, just imagine like a Little Nightmares movie came out and you're gonna go, oh, that's cool. Directed by Tim Burton, fully stop-motion animated? Right, shut up and take my money. I'm watching this movie. Enough said, really. I mean, that's all you really need to say. Alright, let's finally get to number one. Let's stop procrastinating with memes. Let's just get to number one, okay? I've hammered this series into the ground. I've already talked about it in like 3 or 4 videos. And they're in Left Forgotten, but, you know. Bendy. Bendy's the number one pick. Come on, you want to see a movie of this. You know what, I think I'm actually just gonna keep this, like, short, because I've already talked about, Bendy enough, and come on, I think Bendy's pretty self-explanatory of why it would work as a movie, and just say what director I want to work on it. James Wan, dude, this guy's like the perfect horror director. He worked on all the Saw films. In fact, he also co-created Saw along with Lee Winnell. And also, I'm pretty sure he's had a hand in all the Conjuring movies. So he actually understands not just horror movies, but, you know, big connected horror shared universes. And what really drew me to James Wan doing Bendy would be, first off, the Crooked Man from The Conjuring 2. Tall, lanky thing, always smiling. That's the ink demon for you. So, also because James Wan worked on Aquaman. And remember the visuals of that movie? Like, water going everywhere? And, you know, the monsters? Replace, like, the, sea creatures with ink monsters. Replace the water with ink. And you've got yourself a film. Now, I'm pretty sure James Wan, he does strike me as the kind who, enjoys horror games. So I honestly really would love to see James Wan tackle Bendy. And because Five Nights at Freddy's is now at Blumhouse, and Bendy and the Ink Machine is probably the second of the big indie horror games, at least it was, for me it was like FNAF then Bendy. Honestly, I think these games are finally getting the respect they deserve, and with the Blumhouse James Wan merger, yeah, I could really see James Wan working on Bendy, and I really want to see him do that. Right, so, thank you for watching, and thank you for listening to what I'm sure many people on the internet will refer to as bullshit opinions by a college student who doesn't understand filmmaking. I understand filmmaking better than you think. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video. I really want to see these movies made someday, even though I know it's probably never going to happen. These directors will probably never do it, especially Tim Burton with Little Nightmares, but, you know, with Henry Selick knowing about it, maybe that could get Tim Burton. Okay, no more speculation. Anyway, I've been Danimation. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Bye-bye. Anything else you want me to say?